Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, Arcadian, just came out yesterday. Today's Wednesday. Nicolas Cage, right Dominic, huh? Gonna watch it. A father and his twin teenage sons fight to survive in a remote farmhouse at the end of the end of the world. At the end of the world. I don't know. That sounds really intriguing to me. I don't know. It really does. I mean, I'm all in, right? 5.9 on IMDb, 1,656 people rated so far. Nicolas Cage, as I mentioned, and that's all I recognize. Not a big cast there. Hour and 31 minutes, yeah, something like that. So I'm really I'm intrigued. I can't wait to see what it's about and let you know at least what I think. So stick around. I'll be back. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of Arcadian, and I'll probably have to jump into spoilers in a little bit to talk a little bit more about it earlier than normal on this one. But what I will say about it, so Nicolas Cage is our, maybe not our main character, but one of the main characters. It starts off with him, and it's interesting. They show him running from, like, through a city, in a sense. It seems like it's in the UK. That's just, I don't know. There was some UK credits in the beginning that made me think of that as well. But running through there to get home to his two twin sons, right in the beginning, right? But he's like, you know, ducking and dodging and stuff like that and doesn't want to be seen. So we don't really know much. But he gets home, you know, and then they flash forward to 15 years later. And one person, Jaeden, Martell, so he was the kid. He's been in It. That's where I recognize him from. I'm sure he's been in other things. He's one of his two sons. And basically they're living out in like a farm and, you know, getting by remotely without other people. Now there's another farm down the road that the other son goes and visits on an occasion, helps them with different things. But other than that, it's just really the three of them. Now, you know, they cook their own meals, they farm, they do whatever they need to do to, you know, survive and keep things going, stuff to fortify the house, because at night there's something that's coming to their door, right? And that creates the intrigue, the mystery. And so it's supposed to present a post-apocalyptic world, right? So that's why they're living out there by their own. There's no modern conveniences, there's no mother, and there's nobody else except for, I told you, that other farm. But so that makes it really interesting. Now, what I will say, without getting into too much detail, is I felt it took a while to develop. It felt like there was really no substance early. They focus on the three of them, and you know, there's not a lot of character development or backstory on any of them. It's just really present day, what's going on. It's kind of setting up the, it might have been in Ireland. Yeah, film located in Ireland. There you go. So anyway, that's cool. I like that. I get it, now that I think about it. But like I said, it's just more about setting up the two brothers. One brother's going to the other farm. You probably envision why. And the other brother's like smarter, learning, reading, seems, you know, like a smart kid. And then the father, who's just trying to raise two boys. But it takes a long time for them. Doesn't take a long time to get us there, but you know, for them to feel comfortable to move forward with the whole rest of the plot, like what's at the door and what's going on. So so that was it. That was one of the declines. And then there's some other things like I don't know, I'm gonna have to get into. There's some other scenes, like once we figure out what's going down, action scenes that just, I don't know, I don't know. I have to talk a little bit more. So if you haven't seen it yet, you don't want to learn any more about this, I'm going to talk a little more openly about the film. I will not ruin the ending. But with all that said, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. A really tough one to get into here, right? So a lot of fun is like what is at the door. And then when we find out what's at the door, and I'm not even going to tell you that, I don't think, is, you know, the action scenes, the battles and stuff like that are very I get it, they're shot in a way that you're not supposed to be able to see everything, kind of thing. But you know, they talk about like the one scene in the where the kid falls, and they talk about how many. Oh, I killed a bunch of them. That's not really obvious to me. One or two maybe, but not a bunch of them. There's a scene where the girl says, "I shot 100 of them." Okay, that's not true. Maybe they're exaggerating for the sake of exaggerating, but you know, you can't really tell, and it's so dark. And I get it because it all happens in darkness, right? And so, so that kind of thing, and you know, what we end up looking like looks like from another movie, so like from Jurassic Park, more than it does anything else. I should have said this before I got into spoiler alert, but I mean, you combine Signs with there's a second one, another movie like that, maybe Jurassic Park. You kind of get this. It really had a lot of Signs feel to it, all around. I mean, even up until underneath the door, right? But still a lot of fun. I thought Nicolas Cage was good in it. I like the two kids. I don't feel like they're given a lot, you know. Just it was more. I think it was more plot heavy than it was character heavy. Although, you know, they did focus on the boys a little bit, but really it was more everything else. There's no true backstory on why they are where they are right now, which kind of, do we get a prequel of this? You know, maybe. Oh, I know what it was. Signs, Jurassic Park, and Quiet Place. Bam, you get this movie. Okay, that's the one I was thinking of. But so, all that said, the plot's good. It's interesting. Elongated opening, or I guess first act, if you want to say. Felt like they spent too much time there. Only an hour and a half film, so can't be too upset. But I think they could have done more with that time than what they did. Poor action sequences, I think. And the one last thing I'll say is the sacrifice is unnecessary. I get it from, you know, from what they want to convey to the audience and what they want from that, you know. But it didn't seem necessary in the film. They didn't, you know, why? He had it all planned out. Didn't need that. Just put him in there and boom, draw him in. Why did he have to stand in the other room? Unnecessary there. And I felt the one last thing I forgot about this was the attempt to torture for stolen goods was a little, I don't know, off pace on the film. It didn't feel like they were gonna go to that. Maybe he doesn't let him go, but does he really, like, that's the route they go based on everything that's going on? Like, sure, in a normal thief kind of thing, but they really escalated and took it down a different path than what I felt with that family would have done to somebody that they admired or liked earlier. So a little, I don't know, inconsistencies. I don't know if that's the right word, but a little things that I would have maybe done differently to make this better. But I still enjoyed it. I liked it. I hope if there's a prequel, I'm watching it. If there's a sequel, I'm watching it. So what does that tell you? You know, I'm always thinking about what I would change in different things, and I could be completely way off. But you know, I know, Dominic, you're gonna watch this one. But anybody else who's a Nicolas Cage fan, you're gonna check it out too. I love this guy. He just keeps entertaining us. So that's it. Hopefully that was helpful. Thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.